Not too long ago, I took a look at a dash cam from PAPAGO, the GoSafe 520. You can find a link to that down below or in the cards, wherever you want to look. But after I finished that review up, they contacted me again and said, we have a brand new one we just released at CES. You want to check it out? Of course I do. This is the PAPAGO GoSafe 388, and it's actually kind of going to sound like a step down from the previous one I looked at because it does full 1080p video instead of 2K. It has a 2-inch LCD instead of a 3-inch I think they had previously. So let's open it up, see what comes in the box. I'll get it set up, give it a fair shake over the next who knows how long, and then we'll be back. First and foremost, wow, that is little. But inside of the box, you're going to get a quick start guide, some warranty information, an 8GB A-data micro SD card with an adapter, and that's actually a surprisingly fast card. It says class 10, but it also says the U1 on it, which is very, very fast. You get this teeny tiny little dash mount with a sticky pad on the back of it, so you're not going to get a suction cup with this one, you're going to get a little teeny tiny mount, so you're going to have to affix it kind of permanently to whatever you put it on. But luckily it also comes with a spare 3M pad. You get your very, very long mini USB plug with car adapter that is just a USB plug, and because of the coloration on the text, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but it does say 5 volts at 1 amp output, so you could probably do better than this. You're not going to need it for this, but you could. If you wanted to use a different charger, you could use something faster. And finally, of course, you have the dash cam itself. Here's the same kind of mount system they used on the previous one. Go ahead and peel this lens cover off. Oh, and there's even a second layer of it. Twice the fun. There you go. Oh, and there's another one on the back. This is just a party. So taking a quick look around at it, on the front you have the lens, on the side you have a power button, the other side there's nothing, the bottom there's all your serial number and information. On the top we have a port for GPS, we have a mini USB port, a micro SD card slot, and an AV out. And below your LCD there are 4 buttons. There's a record hazard button, up, down, and OK. And this does not appear to have a built-in battery, so you actually do have to plug it in order to use it. And when you plug it in, you're going to see this little light turn on, turns on bright green. It says on the back, PAPAGO, gives you a little information about safety. There's actually a startup sound. I've already turned it off. And you can see it automatically started recording here. So this should be a little bit of a sample clip of what it looks like. And let's take just a quick stroll through the menus. So if you hit this record button over here, it takes you to a list of menu options. You have the hazard button, the playback button, the settings button, and then the display off button. So we're gonna go ahead and go into the settings. Here you have record mode, which is automatic, monitor mode or motion detection. There's driving safety, stop sign recognition, stop and go. These are the same kind of features we had with the previous GoSafe that I took a look at. You can turn the microphone on and off. You can set your EV settings for exposure compensation from 0 to +1 or -1. You can set your resolution. It starts out at 1080p 30. You can go to 1280 by 720 60, 1280 by 720 30, or VGA. There's a bump auto record, so you've got different sensitivities if your car gets bumped as to whether or not you want to automatically start recording. Date and time settings, time zone settings, daylight savings time settings, screensaver as to whether or not you want to turn the screen off after a certain amount of time, power on and off sound, which obviously I turned off, the video stamp if you want to have the date, time, and GPS information on there. GPS is not plugged in, it does not come with the GPS, so you won't be able to use that by default. Your language settings, format the memory card, format warning, and then you can reset things to defaults. And finally, of course, the version information. As of the time of recording this video, it is running version 1.05 of the firmware. Now, if you wanted to take a look at the videos you have on the device, you see here the playback button, just hit that. There's videos, so you hit OK. And there's 2 videos that exist on here. We'll go ahead and hit OK on one, and then it's playing back. So you can see it's got a little timestamp up here at the top. There's also emergency videos, which these are things that it has locked in its memory, things that it has marked as emergency, as hazards. This one's a 32-second clip. This is probably the one where I turned it around and talked to it. You can see it does have date and time information down on it. And so far the video from this looks good. And you can, of course, I guess, take emergency photos if you wanted to do that as well, but we don't have any currently. And then power the screen on and off. And your hazard button, which marks whatever is going on as a hazard. So at this point, I think it's time to take it out and get some test footage. Alrighty, so it's actually quite a little while later, and I have spent quite a little bit of time using this while I've been driving around, and I thought I'd go ahead and just wrap this video up for you. When I mounted this in my car, the permanence of it was a bit of a problem, because I put it up in a place and it stuck immediately, and because it uses a glue pad instead of using a suction cup, I couldn't move it. So you'll notice all of the footage here has a little black bar in the corner of it because I put it in the wrong place on my windshield. I've used the camera both in 720p 60 mode as well as the 1080p mode. I tended to avoid the 720p 60 because while it's nice to have 60 frames a second, when I'm driving along that's not really going to make a huge amount of difference. I'd rather have the higher resolution, but as you can see, you've got a quick sample of what it looks like at 720p 60. Now unfortunately, all the rest of the footage I've got here is 1080p 30 frames per second, and this video is 1080p 60, so it may look a little bit choppy, but when watching it on a computer or anything, it's not. It all looks just fine. In good lighting, in daylight, in sunlight, the video footage from this looks absolutely excellent. It's about 12 megabits per second, which for 1080p footage is pretty decent. And like I said, in good lighting, everything's crystal clear. It's really easy to read things and to make things out. When you get into later parts of the day, like dusk and into the night, it doesn't hold up extremely well, unfortunately. You can still make out what things are, but you can't really read road signs, you can't really read license plates unless you get right up on the bumper of the person that you're trying to look at. If you're at a stoplight or something, you'll be able to read what their license plate says. But other than that, it's just going to be a blur. I like the size, the form factor of it. It does not have a battery though, so if you were wanting to use this when the car is off as like a motion detector or a security thing, it's not going to be able to do that. Unless your car provides power to the cigarette lighters when you're not in it, which I would hope it doesn't because it's going to run your battery down. Between this and the previous PAPAGO that I reviewed, in my opinion, I would actually go for the previous one just because size is not really an issue for me. You're going to be mounting it up near your rear view mirror anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much how big it is. And having much higher quality video, the 2.7K video out of the previous one was so much better, and it actually worked a little bit better at night as well and had a built-in battery. So make sure to go check out the video I made on that one. If you are extremely constrained on space, this one might be the better option, but in almost every other situation I would go for the GoSafe 520 instead. Excellent quality video, but this is still not a bad option. So thanks so much to PAPAGO for sending this out for me to take a look at. Thanks to you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of the video quality down in the comments below. You can find a link to where you can pick one of these up if you're interested down in the video description. Remember to leave a thumbs up down below if you liked it. Subscribe to receive more videos when they become available. We'll see you again next time.